Hello and welcome. On behalf of Clean Code, I am me, you are you. Together, let's try and solve this Spotify medium question in R. So the problem statement is find the top ranked songs for the past 20 years. Pretty straightforward. I thought this was a fitting problem because I just got an email saying that my premium Spotify price will be going up yet once again. So our problem statement reads, find all the songs that were top ranked, meaning at the first position, at least once in the past 20 years. Very straightforward problem statement. Most likely as an interview question, this is probably in like our mix of, first couple of ones to make sure we kind of know the basics, we know the ins and outs. Definitely no gotchas here. Although in the notebook, I'll highlight, I think there's something tipping us off to an edge case in this problem statement. We go ahead and we look at our data. We got year rank, group name, artist, song name, and ID. So immediately, we know we don't need all 6 of these columns. Our problem statement just wants songs, and we just want years, and we want the first position. And if we look here, we have this really cool column called year rank that's going to take a brunt of the work to get this data in the appropriate format for our answer off of our shoulders. So what we don't need is ID. This is probably a vestige of the SQL query. We don't need artist, and we certainly don't need the group name because that is not what our problem statement is asking for. And so suddenly we've half the number of columns we have to keep in our brain in order to solve this problem. And this is kind of how you can be a little bit more efficient and hopefully a little bit faster in answering these problems. So we come over here, we look at our data, we see, okay, cool, we got year rank, song name. That looks like everything we need to answer this particular problem. So I will see you over the notebook. Okay, here we are in our notebook, and kind of like how I was saying before, let's just go ahead, cross off ID, artist, and group name. We don't need to worry about it. Let's not even devote brain power, and we'll just take them off so our eyes skip right over. Now, reading back through our problem statement, we want all the songs at first position at least once past 20 years. One of these things is a clue that we actually have an edge case we need to be worrying about. And it's this at least once right here. That is our hint that a song might be in multiple years a number 1 rank hit. And if we think about that logically from like the business application standpoint, that makes sense. Music is really, really popular and someone might have had consecutive number 1 songs, these things kind of happen. So when we come over here and we think about how we want to attack this problem with our helper functions, luckily we have dplyr, that's stock standard. But what I think we're going to want to use is a filter. I don't think there's a way to get around this problem without a filter. And I think we want to select. And then finally, we want a distinct. Now this distinct is for this use case right here, at least once. We don't want multiple, we only want the unique songs in the past 20 years. So when we come through our plan of attack, what I think we want to do, and this is kind of like a shorthand how to optimize, is we want to break the data from big to small. So I think the first thing we want to do is filter for that 20-year window. Then I think we want to have rank equals 1. And then we want to grab song name. And I think this is kind of the best way to approach this problem and hopefully get a really nice and fast solution. So with all that being said, I will see you back over in the notebook. Okay, here we are back in the code editor, and let's see if we can't knock this problem out. So I think the first thing we want to do here on line 4 is create a new variable. Anytime you're working with this kind of data, I think it's just nice to have a new variable and we can comment out like what's in it in the documentation a little bit later. But we're going to be subsetting our data here. That is where this comes from. And then I think what we want to do is that filter step that we spoke about in our notebook. So we're going to filter for the last 20 years, 2024, so 20 years, 2004, year rank, and then we want to do year rank equals 1. And then from this filtering, we want to get some song names. And then from those selected song names, we only want the distinct ones. And that handles our edge case. So we go ahead and click run code and hope it works. Always makes me a little bit nervous. I'm always afraid it's not. Here we go. Okay, 5 seconds. Wow. So here we go. All right, everything looks pretty good. And then if we go ahead and click solved, we're going to wait our 5 seconds again to see if we crack this problem. Oh no, what's going on here? Okay, so you see this one in red. We didn't pick this one up because their solution has 11. We only got 10. So the only way that we could have gotten less than them is if our year is wrong. So this problem must have come out in 2023. And that's how we're shorting them a year. So if we go ahead and try that, there we go. Everything's working hunky-dory. All right, thanks for coming along and solving this problem with me. I've been Clean Code and you've been you, and I have really enjoyed our time together today. Stick around if you want kind of more of an in-depth, after hours line-by-line breakdown of everything this code is doing. Otherwise, I'll see you in a job it. See you next time. Okay, welcome to After Hours. We're going to break this code down kind of line by line and kind of showcase how we're thinking this is going to work. So the way to kind of look at this is our variable. And into that variable, we are going to place this data with conditions. I like to think of this as such that, the pipe operator is such that, personally. So we want the Billboard Top 100 year end such that, and then we're going to filter so that our years match the time duration in our problem statement. Also, this comma is also working as an and that the year rank column, this beautiful little column right here, is number 1. And then from this filter, we want this filter such that we only grab these song names, such that we only grab the distinct song names. So sometimes in R, it's kind of helpful to read like bottom up, especially in a block of code like this. So what we're doing is we're getting distinct song names that match this filter criteria from this data, and we're putting all of it right here. All right, see you next time.